topic. Be optimistic, man. All right, let me.
Oh man, that just really happened, man. That really just happened, man. That's hilarious.
All right, so welcome to another episode of Talking That Talk official podcast. I go by the name of King Exodus, aka X.
What's going on, world? It's your boy Juice, aka No Ordinary Brother, aka Rising Pharaoh.
All right, so interesting topic today. I'm pretty sure we'll find a way to make it funny as always.
As always, gonna be funny, especially if I'm in.
All right, yeah, he's in it. All right, so topic we got today is really just based around being optimistic, and we're gonna hit a couple different points of being optimistic. How does this work with dealing with your problems and getting you to your highest level? All right, so kicking it off, the power of being optimistic first. I gotta say that Juice is one of the most optimistic people that I know.
Oh man, you gonna put that like that, baby? Oh, I like that.
We could be on top of the freeway, getting ready to, the freeway could be getting ready to give out, and we stuck in traffic. He gonna be like, well, shit, at least we got a good view of the city before we go. You know what I'm saying? He's that kind of person. You know what I'm saying? So that energy is very powerful because, you know what I'm saying, go back to that whole concept of the glass always being half full.
Mm-hmm.
Life is really what you make it, and it's based off your perception. A lot of times you got to realize, a great man once said, nothing makes a great man but resistance. So a lot of times when people go through their resistance, they get drowned in that process, and that's how you continue to attract negative energy towards you when you have all the power to transmutate the energy into a positive. Okay. So you look at any great person, they had to go through great resistance to become great, and then they had a different set of resistance that they encountered once they became great. Because now are you going to be greater than what you are, or are you going to fall off? Mm-hmm. Imagine if Jordan, you know what I'm saying, won 2 rings and never won another ring. Will we still say he the GOAT? No. You know what I'm saying? Because he fell off. So I ain't going to be too long-winded on that. I just want to say it's power in being optimistic. Of course you're going to have resistance in life, but you have to take that energy and do something with it. Don't just drown in your failures. Because then you got negative side effects to that. Because if you're drowning in your negative activities and pressures, you're going to start devaluing people within your life. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe they're not responding to you the way you want them to respond to you. But really, what you need to do is get yourself together. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna kick off too much.
Man, look, I gotta apologize. I didn't even have my mic ready, y'all. I gotta apologize for that. But yeah, like I said, I'm definitely one of the most optimistic people you can ever think of, man. The most craziest shit can happen, and I'm always thinking of the most positive things. Now, there is a chance that you could be too optimistic where you could basically be delusional at that point. So you got to be able to realize at the same time, there's always power being optimistic, but being too optimistic can then create delusion within it, right? So one of the most optimistic things I'm doing right now, I'm on a water fast. Right? Never did it a day in my fucking life. And I just like, this weekend, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna do a water fast, right? Talked to one of my good friends about it. He's been doing it for a while. I lost 35 pounds within a matter of 2 weeks. And he told me his program. He was like, hey man, I water fast Monday through Friday. I allow myself to eat on the weekends, and then I go back to my fast. Lost 35 pounds, 2 weeks. I was like, God damn. So me, myself, I'm not too heavy, you know what I'm saying? But I always like the slim look. The slim fit look, slim stomach, nice arms, chest out, back out, blow your back out. But anyway, stuff like that. So I wanted to just challenge myself on a water fast to see like how long I can do it. Because even though this is the first day, I haven't even been hungry, honestly. And it also, you got to remember when you fast, your body eats up the fat that's been stored in it. So I also look at it the way it's removing excessive fat, or it can also eat away even at diseases, because you got to remember the food that you put in your body eats at that and will fuel it. So it's a lot of things that come with fasting that I never attempted. I was just like, you know what, I want to attempt it. One of the best doctors in the world, Dr. Sebi, has always talked about fasting. Fasting is a beneficial factor. You could look at Gandhi at the same time. He did a he did a fast for, I forgot, 41 days. I forgot, don't quote me on it, until he was able to get his point across when negotiating. So like I said, I'm just optimistic on the opportunity of wanting to put myself out there and see what can happen, what's the benefits of it. I'm not pessimistic. Some people are already telling me, oh, you shouldn't do that. You're going to miss nutrients in your body. You do this. I'm like, hey, look, I know what I'm doing. I did my research, and at any given time, I can always go to my pantry and just eat something. Right. So you got to remember that, right? So you got to look at the optimism I have is like, okay, if this works, I was already looking at it like, okay, if this works, if I'm ever low on money, I can just fast for a little bit. Or if I'm ever in a situation I can't feed my family, shit, I'll just drink water and let them eat. Like I'm always thinking of more things and more things and more things at the same time because I'm just that much optimistic when it comes to taking chances, opportunities to see how much I can become a better person, you know? So I just give you a little taste of round one real quick.
All right. And speaking of fasting, in the process of being really optimistic, like more so than need be, you have to go on a people fast as well. You know what I'm saying?
Talk to them!
You really can't be optimistic truly unless you have like that kind of crowd of people around you. Because sometimes, you know what I'm saying, negative people, whether they tend to be negative or not, they just can be very draining to talk to. A simple 10-minute conversation can fuck up a whole week of studying you just did. Because you get pissed off that much from the conversation or you get that much pushback from the conversation. So you have to be careful of who you rocking with within your route of maintaining your optimism. It's always going to be that one person that's going to remind you what can go wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, he drinking water. He going on a water fast. But then somebody going to be like, look, he could drink too much water and then you can drain the minerals in your body and all that.
Yeah.
All right, so you always have those kind of people. Because he didn't say he's only going to drink water for the rest of his life. He didn't say that. He just said he's going on a fast, a water fast.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful of people. Like, don't be so optimistic to where you're delusional, but don't be so negative to where you still can't dream or think big or still make progressive actions towards what you want to maintain and obtain. You still have to be realistic, but stay away from the people that always remind you that shit can always go wrong.
Whew.
You know what I'm saying? And
I love that.
And dealing with some people, you're not going to always be on your optimistic level. Sometimes you have to deal with people accordingly. You know what I'm saying? You can't be the happiest person in the negative room and you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? People slap you in your face and you just turn another cheek, you know what I'm saying? Like, hit me here. You can't be a pain freak, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you got to match energy with energy, match force with force, but keep positive people around you, man. One thing I did that helped me really change my life, I went on a music fast to where for like months on end, I listened to nothing but reggae. Nothing but reggae.
Okay.
So my responses to negative energy was like, everything irie. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was really hard to piss me off while I'm listening to nothing but reggae. And then later on, I slowly got back to R&B. The last music I got back to was hip hop because I knew that when I listened to hip hop, for the most part, it engaged my lower self. You know what I'm saying? So I was trying to not stray away from it, but build up my higher self. So a lot of times, man, if you listening to shoot that motherfucker, kill that nigga, and then somebody bump into you on accident, you already got that energy in you ready to pop off because you just listened to shoot that nigga, kill that motherfucker all day. Versus you listening to something peaceful, it probably help you handle that situation better. So be careful of your daily routines, the musics that you listen to, the foods that you eat, the people that's around you, all that's a fast.
Hey, look, that was brilliant. Like, he had me excited. Like, I always talk about those three fasts. Also, the last one I would say is your environment fast, bro. Sometimes that's why people be doing vacations and stuff.
Bro.
What they'll do is they'll be in the same city, but they'll go to a hotel downtown. They'll be in another area, another surroundings, and different interactions, right? For instance, I'll talk about a situation today. I was apartment shopping, right? I called X, like, yeah, man, I seen this place, man, it's nice. It's over here, this area, man, it's nice. The grass is green on both sides. The grass is green on both sides, and this and that. You know what I'm saying? I had a small moment. I was like, but you know what I'm saying? I got my money like this, I got my money like that. You know, I had to hit it with the camera hard. You know, my money takes a little bit longer to transfer over. But the whole time, I can afford it. But it's just like, do I want to pay it at the same time? And X had to hit me with one of the things I always be saying. I'm like, look, man, that shit is not a lot. If you can afford it, just go ahead and do it. So it just be them small things that I be pessimistic about. I be trying to minimize things, but I always said the best way to grow is to be in different environments, right? So for instance, I grew up kind of like warlike to a certain point. Like, fighting was just natural. right? I was out of an environment for a period of time, to a point where a confrontation happened. I almost forgot what the fuck to do. You know what I'm saying? But see, that's the beauty of it, is when you're no longer in that environment, you can be a different person. You can grow. And you know what I'm saying? Most people look at that and be like, man, I don't want to lose my edge, you know? Bro, fuck all that. You know, like, once you realize you leave that environment, you become a different person, and that same energy then tries to come back to you, you'll learn, like, that's no longer you. But people want to attach themselves to the environment that they go. Like, that's why I had said to X one day, I was like, it's amazing that people leave the hood and go to the suburbs, but you still hood while you're in the suburbs, right?
Only the same shit.
You'll be in fucking Pearland, Katy, still talking about South Park, Fifth Ward, Third Ward. I'm like, yo, we out of that shit. But it's so instilled in them that the environment has played out forever a part in them. You know what I'm saying? So another thing I want to get back to the with the fasting is like, yo, that's powerful. Everything that you put into your ear and into your body, it feeds it different, right? We can't always say like, oh, you know, that's what people are like, I can listen to trap music and still go about my day doing something.
Yeah, right.
Let something happen. Those are mantras in your head at the same time, right? You know what I'm saying? I even remember situations I was in, like literally a fucking clip of a song would play through my mind on how I'm gonna react. Whether it was a fight, at a job, even if it came to sexual. You know what I'm saying? That certain line off that lyric plays through your mind, like, oh yeah, do it like this. Bro, it's real. So we gotta be, you know, make sure we keep our eyes and our hearts open and everything like that that we're doing, right? Man, so that's round 2 for me, man. Hey, this is a good subject, man. Oh, you know?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, so another thing you got to do in being optimistic that I believe is you have to count your victories in life, no matter how small they are. You're not really going to get into big stages of success until you first know what success feels like. You know what I'm saying? So you have to practice being successful. So a lot of times people are so tough and they so hard on themselves that they really don't even see their own growth and progression. They don't see how important they are to other people. They don't see their impact on the world that's in front of them. You know what I'm saying? Because they only looking at, look, I know where I want to be and I ain't there yet. So you can really psych yourself out of being successful, even though you're doing it the right way. Mentally, you still don't have the mind frame for it on a larger scale because you still feel like a loser. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's the worst thing you can do in life is have shit, make progress, but still feel like you ain't shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy right there.
Yeah, I mean, I could cut it right there, but you really got to count your successes. Arnold said it. You know, all these great people said it. Look, I'm not going to conquer great shit overnight. So I got to count every little step and pat myself on the back. I listened to this lady give an interview, and she was like, every morning when she wake up, she high-five herself in the mirror. And she was like, look, we did a study, like this in contemporary science, that even in sports, teams that high-five each other the most and hype the teammates up the most, 9 times out of 10, they win the championship.
You know why? It's energy being transferred.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I gotta remember that.
Yes, sir.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, could you imagine keeping your head down and somebody try to high-five you, and then you'd be like, all right. It can brighten up the day. That's the energy of transfer. What's up, Tim? And man, that's another thing. Like I said, that's a lot of optimism you got to put in there, right? And that's just the core to say. For instance, bro, this whole thing with going on in the world right now, politics, and with this, you know, this pandemic that's going on. A lot of people are very pessimistic right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, I don't know how to be pessimistic. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. That's why I never stressed out too much. Probably stressed out maybe one time in my period of life.
Stressed out, nigga.
Yeah, but other than that, like, I just keep myself up afloat. Like, I just know to keep going, keep moving, keep providing, keep succeeding, right? So, with the pessimistic thing going on, they're like, well, I got to be careful what I say. You know what I'm saying? I got to be careful, but there's a lot of how could you say, a lot of enclosement going on unless you move forward with certain things, right? Whether it's getting your vaccine, or whether it's like it's a lot of things. Like, it's a lot of enclosement right now. Going to certain places that used to make you feel happy, you can't go there no more because it's shut down. It's things that brought you joy is now disappearing. right now.
Mm-hmm.
But even in the midst of all that, I'm just looking at it like, yo, that's kind of crazy. But hey, imagine if we still can hit our goals if we do all this shit during this time period.
Right.
So you got to remember, we're adults now. So the ones who are adults are just not experiencing this, right? So you got to be optimistic to your children, because at the same time, if they don't know what to look towards, it's going to be like, oh man, that's what it looked like, you know, because we don't know if we're going to be a pandemic for the rest of the time period or not. But at the same time, you got to keep looking towards the future, right? It's people right now like, yeah, I plan on making my first meal by 2022, 2023, 2024. Kari Richardson says she plans on winning 2024 Olympics. I'm like, that's a lot of optimism. So, you know, good luck to the sister. You know, hope you do your thing. But like I said, it's a difference between people who are still planning for the future and people who are still stuck on what's going on now and what the future might stop and hold. So that's just my little spin right there.
And powerful within the whole pandemic scenario, because even still, it's a lot of people that became millionaires even during what we call a pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So you always gotta keep working. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you're putting in the work to get towards your goals, you have to find some kind of optimistic in the fact that you're at least getting somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes step one is the biggest step. Just some people can't even make step one. You know what I'm saying? Some people talk business and entrepreneurship and all this shit, and you're like, hey, so have you at least went down to the annex court yet to get the process rolling? Like, what have you done to start? Some people feel like, well, if I can't get the LLC in the first day, then I'm gonna wait till I can. No.
You don't even need the LLC, bro. You need to go ahead and start learning your product and service right then and there.
While you're waiting, somebody else is moving.
And
somebody else is working. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about being competitive, but you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be left behind with a bunch of ambitious shit in your mind. You don't want to be the smart person, you know what I'm saying, and never really make it because they was too smart for their own good.
Man.
You have to humble down and put in the work. Nothing comes to nobody that don't put in the work. But pat yourself on the back once you make those steps of progress. Like I always talk about Kobe. One thing he said in his rookie career, you know what I'm saying, he airballed, you know what I'm saying, in time, I think they was in the playoffs or some shit like that. He airballed a couple of shots, and he said shit. He used that energy as fuel to make sure that when he got in that position again, he was gonna hit those shots. So he changed his whole training program based on airballing. And then he said, missing those shots felt good because it made me think about what can I do to be better. So sometimes in being optimistic, you still gonna fail. Right. And that's cool. You're supposed to. That's what you learn.
Yeah, that's what you learn from.
If you win every time, you can learn from that, but you're not gonna learn how tough you are if you never lose some shit. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing wrong with starting over. There's nothing wrong with losing. You just got to come back from those losses.
Correct. You know, a couple of quotes I'm going to do real quick for you, because I always tell people I live my life in quotes. You build a house brick by brick.
Bricks.
You run a mile step by step. You climb a mountain step by step. So it's all there at the same time. It's just always the process. What we got to remember when it comes to taking these steps is you just got to do it. Like what my boy the Godfather said. He said, "Hey, do it scared, do it nervous, but just make sure you do it." That's the main thing. Is that we're getting to a point where we get so paralysis over analysis. We overthink things and just don't do them, right? So even in the midst, sometimes I have those type of actions myself, is because I'm very analytical. But I just remember, just do it at the end of the day. What you do matters no matter what, right? That's why they say no action is still action. And if people argue with you, well, how's that an action?
Still emotion.
It's still action. It's still there you go. It's just emotion. And people get too technical, like stuff like that, right? You want to be optimistic around optimistic people, because then those are the ones who help you share your vision. However, even pessimistic people can also help you share your vision, right? Right? Let's say you wanted to build the best hot dog stand, right? You know, the layout, the buns, the wieners, mustard, ketchup, the condiments, whatever, right? I'm the optimistic guy. I'm like, yeah, go do that shit, right? You might have a person on the side like, I don't know, man. You gonna do hot dogs? Like, where you gonna sell it up, or how you know what type of buns they're gonna have, you know, how you know what people want to
People vegan now.
Yeah, people vegan now, like people don't eat that stuff, man.
Yeah.
Right. A person can be so pessimistic it fuels you to just shit on them. Right? I remember listening to this audio by Zig Ziglar. No, quote that wrong. By Jim Rohn. Love the shit out of that guy, man. That's another guy y'all should listen to, Jim Rohn. He said one of his rich friends was a teacher, right? He said his brother made him so mad one day. He said, "You'll never be rich. You're a teacher." Within the next 5 years, became a millionaire and became one of his millionaire friends. That's what I'm saying. People can just be so pessimistic at your titles or what you're able to do, and it's like, prove them wrong. That's all you have to do. But we understand when we get hit with so much negativity and so much doubt, it'll kind of like instill us and make us feel like we can't move forward. But that's why we said you gotta fast from people. You gotta fast from certain foods. Food definitely triggers the brain different. And then whether you believe it or not, food triggers the brain different. And we also gotta be mindful of what we listen to, right? I remember at one period of time, probably like 5 years ago, I would literally have a step-by-step procedure of what I listen to, right? Mentally, I'm gonna listen to Jim Rohn. Physically, I'm gonna listen to Iron Addicts, Gym Heads, whatever, whoever it is, right? Spiritually, I'm gonna listen to, let's say, what's his name from Houston? Joel Osteen. I'm listen to Joel Osteen. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I listen to like different people and make sure I hit each category to empower myself for one day. And that's what keeps me going. Like maybe that's what you need. Maybe if you're lacking in the physical, listen to somebody who's in the physical. If you're lacking spiritually, listen to people who are spiritual. And that's why I said the main thing when it comes to spirituality to me, I listen to people who's non-religious and religious just to see the teachings on how it can empower an individual or not. So it's just stuff like that. I'm very optimistic too, right? Just like I told X before, hey, look, I make sure I have a mentor from every race because I'm curious to know if everything's teaching the same.
Okay. Beautiful. Yeah. So the whole concept of this for me is do what you do, be progressive, and never give up. You know what I'm saying? That's the worst thing you can ever do is give up. Even if you don't have a specific plan in mind, still take action. And even if you have to alternate plans, that still don't mean you still can't reach your goals. So you never really want to get caught up on the route. Just get to the destination.
There you go. That's what I was just about to say.
You know what I'm saying? So that's part of that optimistic thinking. Like, well, it was a quote I think Edison had or something. Like he failed 1,000 times or something like that. It took him 1,000 times to get the right formula. You have to put in the work and you have to be optimistic in order to keep going. It's a lot of people that gave up on shit that they wanted to accomplish. And those are the people that become leeches to society.
Right.
That constantly remind you what can go wrong and what can fall apart.
Right.
You don't want to be that person. And you don't want to be the person that people ask you, hey, you still doing such and such? And you're like, nah, man, shit fell through. You know how it go. You don't want to be that person. Keep doing what you're doing. Whether you got 10 people watching you, liking or buying from you, or you got 100 or 1,000, keep doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? If that's really what you want to do and that's what you feel in your heart, fuck the analytics sometimes. You got to keep moving. Even if it take you 10 years, 5 years, 2 years. Well, somebody else blew up overnight. You're not that person.
You're not that person. There you go. You're not that person.
You don't have their energy and their resources and everything else that they had to make their shit pop, but you still can learn from them. You know what I'm saying? Don't be so negative and doubtful on yourself because other people made it faster. You know what I'm saying? That's the worst thing you can do is look at what the next person got. Right. Counting other people's pockets and shit like that, and you looking at what they got and what you don't have, but they could be doing the same thing with you. And they go back to, you know what I'm saying, you have fan favorites that win, and then you have underdogs that come out of nowhere and take the shit. You know what I'm saying? So being an underdog is not always a disposition. Sometimes it's an advantage.
Or the black sheep.
Yeah.
There's power in that. So a couple quotes came to my mind when he said, people take their ideas and, die with them. You gotta remember the richest place in the world is the graveyard. Ideas that was never created, dreams that was never reached, people who would have been helped, they're all in the graveyard because they never took the actions to bring them to reality. And then as you were saying, like things that happen, you can let that build you or break you, right? I'd have been betrayed in business. I'd have been betrayed in forming groups that was like, whether it's promoting or just making sure everybody's cool in a circle. And I never stopped saying, oh, I'm not going to do business no more. I don't want to join groups or make groups. No, I just keep fucking going. I just know what to do next time and not what to do next time. That's the main thing. If you don't learn from your failures, that's why you're going to keep failing, right? Let's say, take an L, let it be a lesson. Make a mistake, then take that and learn to be great. It's all a process. And that's how you gotta be when going into this world. Like, this world's gonna hit you with some shit, man. Like, and that's just how life is, man. I remember one time and my car went flat. Damn near almost got fired from the job. Was on a bus, getting rained out with no umbrella. Like, before I got there, like, it's stuff that happens. I just like, man, that was a crazy ass day. and then I just keep going. Like, you gotta look at some things that happen to you and smile at it, at what can happen, right? What is the scripture? God put his strongest soldiers to a test for I forgot how it goes, man. I get that point. Yeah, he puts the strongest soldiers to a test, to get to the outcomes that they want. So you gotta remember, like, you're a soldier out here. You don't need helmets and boots. You gotta, it's inside you. You gotta know how to push forward from there. Another thing I was going to say when it comes to the pessimism is watch yourself and see if you're actually pessimistic. You could be damaging people around you. All I get is calls about is how to be better. Like what should I do, this and that. There's a reason why people will reach out to you, why people won't reach out to you. And that's something I was going to make a post about. We could probably turn that into a whole episode as well, is when you have nobody to look up to you, nobody give a fuck about you. Right? That's why you move sloppy. That's why nobody will tell you nothing. Right? It's a difference when people latch onto you because they know what you're doing. They see what you're doing. They feel like they can do it themselves, or they know that you have the energy or the optimism to get on the right path. That's power within itself. Move in an effective manner, and then people will come to you.
Okay. My closeout would be a great scenario that Vincent Van Peele gave. He was pretty much saying that the only place in the world where people don't have problems, because everybody complaining about their problems, is the cemetery. Those are the only people that have no stress and no problems in the world, because they're dead. So what he was saying is, his scenario is, you actually want problems. I'm not saying toxic problems, but you want challenges in life, because that's what's gonna push you, motivate you. That's what you're gonna learn from. If you don't have no problems, you don't have no energy to pull from. You know what I'm saying? That's why people get on stage when they finally make it, they're in tears, they cry. You know what I'm saying? That's where that shit's coming from. You know what I'm saying? Even people that come from the suburbs, they still had a struggle to get to where they at. So they have these same emotions when they finally make it and get it on the stage and all that. If you don't come from nothing, that shit not gonna mean nothing to you once you get it. So, you know what I'm saying? And enjoy your process every step of the way, every failure, keep going, and most of all, stay optimistic.
Right. And one of the current examples I give right now, everybody's watching the Squid Games, right? So one of the leading actors, can't remember the character name, but she literally had 400,000 followers, right? Today's market, she has over 12 million, right? We didn't see the process she went through acting, getting better before that show premiered. That's what we got to remember. Some people that are, when they say they success overnight, we don't see nothing they do behind the scenes the whole time. So it's all about the building up, the reputation, the reps. Like I said, when nobody around, how many reps are you doing at the gym? Like you telling people you're doing 5, you doing 1. Like you can't. That's the main thing. You can't fake success. It's gonna hit you in the face. A lot of these people who fake success are getting hit right now. I don't know if y'all see all the raises going on, all those scamming or anything like that. They're all getting hit. You can't fake success for too long. It's going to catch you. And then people are going to put you in a situation to prove who you are in your work.
Right on.
Right?
Right. We can close out on that. If you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe to the channel.
Yeah. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be at your doorstep with the burner. Let me do this. Let Let me stop. I don't want to get mad right now. But yeah, make sure you comment, like, subscribe to the channel. We're about to do a recap. We do it every night now after the episode. So, peace. Check it out.
All right.